Alright. Hey, howdy, hey. Hola, DeFrehn amigo. Alright. Welcome, everybody. So, let's begin. Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people. My name is Aidan DeFrehn, and welcome back to DeFrehn Live. Now, as you may recall, last time on the series, I think I just did a drawing stream. Not really sure of what I would do next. Fortunately, however, I did think of something to do next. Catechirus. Indeed. Anyway. So, as you can tell from today's title and description, I'm just going to be showcasing some of my video editing. And welcome to the stream. So, let's just jump into it. So this is the first thing I want to show off. This animation reel that I've edited, I think in January. Hang on a sec, let's... there we go. Now, you might notice that this is just above 60 seconds. A general rule for most animation or any type of demo reel is that most of them would be around a minute and a half. Well, they shouldn't really go over a minute and a half. Which is why both of my demo reels, despite me having a lot of animations under my belt, especially now, that I've been keeping myself busy with a lot of projects. You'll hear about them as soon as they're announced. And one more thing I should probably mention is that this clip that I showed almost near the end of the demo reel is actually part of a different collab from Billy and Mandy. And as much as I wanted to include some sort of hand-drawn animation for this specific section of the video, I didn't really have any good examples of other hand-drawn animations that I haven't really completed that really wasn't this. Oh yeah, I guess I should mention this. I mostly included scenes from the Chimney song and I also included two of my scenes from the first Billy and Mandy reanimated collab. But there were also some that I really didn't have the capacity to include, because I usually like to edit, my videos into different songs. Actually, that's another thing that I want to mention. One of these days, I'm probably gonna do one of those My Little Pony animations. But instead of using the puppet rigs made available on stuff like DeviantArt, like fan recreations of the puppet rigs used on the show, I'm likely gonna draw my own rigs. And if you've seen any of my MLP drawings that I did a while back, I might slightly change the style a little bit to adapt to what my style is right now. Oh yeah, one more thing. The grid right here is meant to fill up the space. It's meant to fill up space. Because with clips from the Chimney Song and King of the World, they were actually produced in 4:3 and 2.39:1 respectively. So I just use this grid thing in order to fill in everything for the 16:9 aspect ratio. I used a similar tactic to this on Ask Aidan 3, which I'll get to right after this. Also, you might be wondering how I did this. All the graphics and grids and stuff, these were all made in Blender. Alright, now let me read the chat. Terry D. Rhodes, welcome to the stream. Jokes aside, I remember watching a lot of old categories back in the day, so I remember the greetings and salutations, my beautiful people. Is that DaVinci Resolve? It is! I'm honestly a movie maker guy for now, since I'm more of an unprofessional guy. I use Movie Maker, iMovie, and After Effects. Honestly, I might be more willing to use professional tools next year since I'll have more time. DeFrehnified ponies, coolness. Oh yeah, I remember that Applejack one. Oh yeah, about the Applejack one. I remember, I think it was some guy who showcased a clip of Ashley Ball essentially reciting Apple.mov in a way. So I just animated the clip. Now I don't know who he is, the guy who originally uploaded it. Probably somebody else. Alright, so, yeah. Now that I showcased the demo reel a little bit, oh, I guess I should probably showcase what happens here. So, if the scene is a dialogue, if the scene contains any real dialogue, then I would kinda turn down the volume on the music that I use throughout the reel. That way the dialogue shines a little more. I think the common thing for background music is like turning it down by minus 20 decibels. So let's hear that in action. Actually, can you hear that? I guess I should probably turn on desktop audio. And I guess turn off the playlist for now. Let's hear it one more time, because...
Ah, so, forgive me if I am mistaken, but according to your demonstration, the correct way to do this tap is like... this?
And then, as soon as the dialogue's over, it crossfades to... that. To the music continuing as normal. Alright. I also recently watched my most recent entry in my Guilty Pleasures list. Dear Evan Hansen, I'm 68 years old and I want to... Sincerely, the Pizza Man. Well, the answer is yes, Sally. Yes, I am. Yeah. Alright. So yeah, that's one piece that I wanted to showcase. Let me turn off the desktop audio for now and turn the playlist back on. Alright. Actually, so I'm gonna bring up my next edit that I want to showcase, so I'll be right back. Alright. So yeah. We now move on to a more complicated, and I mean like very complicated, piece of editing. I should probably mention this right now, but this animation right here, let me turn on the background, well, desktop audio, and turn this off. This little graphic animation I've actually animated in 2023. And then I think the first thing I really edited was this. The first thing I edited was this global grid thing. And then I added my character stills. And actually, let's showcase some of the things that I've edited. I'm trying to find, here it is. The stuff that I edited in the style of a YouTube poop.
Mom, well...
But yeah, it gets laggy with that kind of thing. With everything going on. But yeah. And then you might also notice that I have each layer for everything. Hopefully this one doesn't.
So how about that
airline food?
Honestly, all the YouTube poop moments are honestly my favorite parts. Actually, hopefully this could work.
I need action. I need adventure. I need punch.
Yeah, there we go. It kind of works. But yeah, I think... yeah, those were all the YouTube poop moments. Aside from one. Let me get to that.
Who wrote the Bible?
You question the word of the mighty
It looks a lot better in the video itself, but hey, it works. It works. It works. And then but yeah, if we take one more look at the edit right here, good God, that is a lot. I don't know how this compares to... I don't know how this compares to all the other edits behind various different YouTube videos. If it even compares to a bunch of videos edited by other more popular YouTubers. But yeah, I think I remember seeing a screenshot of what a normal YouTube video looks like in the form of editing. And it kind of looked something like this, except I think it was in Sony Vegas. Whereas here I'm using DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, not much else to showcase here. Alright. One thing I've also been doing is fiddling around with Blender to the best of my capacities. I've noticed I'm more of a graphic guy than an arts guy, even though I like art. Yeah, those YouTube poop style edits gave me a good laugh when the video dropped. Honestly, that punch moment's hilarious. My favorite kind of YouTube poop joke. People always say in my life a movie. My life a YouTube poop. Swouse. Anybody else remember that Vine? Alright. So yeah. That's pretty much the editing for Ask Aidan 3, so I think I'll showcase maybe 3 more? How good does that sound? 3 more? Yeah, I'll do that. So, yeah, I'll be right back. And we're back. Alright. So, actually, let me turn off the playlist once more. And it's a good thing the desktop audio is already on. So, yeah, let's get to the second trailer for Chatting with Clarissa. I wanted to showcase the making of the first trailer, but the timeline for that trailer is also kinda not kinda, but it's also part of the production of the original. This was also made in Blender. And I took very heavy inspiration from those MPAA cards that show up at the beginning of every trailer from the late 90s, 2000s. Especially the early 2000s. Yeah, this moment right here is actually edited in various different ways. I did the same thing in the animation reel and in the trailer for Go Animate the Movie, the cohesive cut. Where if a shot goes on for a little too long, I usually trim it down to the beat of the music. Because, like I said earlier, I like to edit to the rhythm of the music. Mostly when transitioning from this to this. Let me just... Yeah, like that. And then this part of the trailer. This part of the trailer was heavily inspired by all those work in progress trailers that Disney used to pull out, or put out. Yeah, this was based on those work in progress trailers that Disney used to put out at the beginning of their tapes. Like, I remember seeing one for Pocahontas on a tape for, I think, First Kid, which was, I think, about a kid who becomes president of the United States. It's a weird movie. And I think Sinbad was also in it, if I recall. I don't know. It was a long time ago. Actually, no, I think First Kid was 1997. I was thinking of a different movie. Actually, in the Mulan tape, it actually showed a sneak preview for Tarzan. So yeah, this was heavily inspired by that. And then you have that. And then you have making its premiere July 30th. Which that is... Actually, let me showcase this. Notice how this... Notice this symbol. This means that it's a compound clip. So if I go here and open in timeline, you can see it's actually 3 things at once. Solid color down here, animated text down here, animated text here, and this, which I've actually edited in Blender. I've actually done the same thing for Go Animate the Movie, the cohesive cut. So yeah, let's... So yeah, that's titles. So let's go back to the regular timeline. And yeah, that's... Oh, and this solid color is supposed to act as a little breather. Usually lasts for like a second or two. That way it doesn't really cut anything off if it shows up on TV or anything. In fact, I did the same thing here. At the beginning, there's nothing until like 12 frames in. Which, half of 24 is 12, so... So you get a half second of a blank screen, and then, boom, right to the card. Actually, let me... Yeah, I'm gonna pull up 2 more things, and then... Actually, let me read this. I've personally done a few experimentations with cool montages myself, especially the trailers, channel trailers. There was one now deleted in 2022, and I did one near the end of last year. DreamWorks also did those work-in-progress trailers for Over the Hedge. Oh yeah, I remember those. One for Over the Hedge in Madagascar. I remember seeing that. Editing is an interesting thing. Yes, it is. Alright. So, I showcased 3 things. Am I correct? I don't know. But yeah, let me pull up 2 more, and then I'll probably do something else. I don't know. So yeah, speaking of trailers, I remember doing one for my channel that was inspired by Aidan's trailers. Interesting. Alright, I'll be right back. Just gotta showcase, like, 2 more of my edits. Thought I'd say it clearer. And we're back. I think I'll go watch something else. I'll be back for music time. Okay. Probably won't be long, though. So, this is my normal thing for... This is the template that I use for every DeFrehn Draws episode. Depending on which season, it kind of goes for a different style. And there would normally be music at the bottom, which is a remix of a song that relates to what I'm working on. Usually in either a Sega Genesis or Super Mario 64 sound font. I think the only exception there was, I think, the last episode of Season 3, when I drew Sonic, Amy, and Tails. I think I just ended up using the original Sega Genesis soundtrack. Meaning that edits by remix, well, meaning that this remixes provided by DMix thing was a bit of an error. In that episode, at least. I didn't really bother editing it out, because I didn't really think about it. But yeah, it's mostly just, like, the original Sonic tracks. I think it was one song from Sonic 3, the Act 1 boss. Act 1 boss, the Green Hill Zone, which is a given for any Sonic thing. And to kind of fill up time, well, because I didn't want it to be silent all that much, the ending portion to the end credits theme of Sonic 2. Also, normally here there would be footage of me drawing whichever thing I would do. And up here is where the music track would be. That way I don't get bombarded with questions like, what song did you use for this section? Oh, and side note, I remember loving this song when when I watched the Animusic back in the day. I think I was in elementary school when I saw Animusic for the first time. Speaking of, does anybody know if they still sell the Animusic DVDs? Is it on Amazon, or do I have to go to PBS's like shop thing? I don't really know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyway. Yeah. One more thing. There I am. Oh yeah, that was the fan art. Alright. So, I'm gonna showcase one more thing. Sorry, I have to adjust myself. I'm gonna showcase one more thing. I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. So, this right here is Spooky Season Re-Edited. Which is basically just me re-editing a comic dub. Should be pretty obvious which one this is. And they're, like, really small edits, really. Like, updating the opening and ending credits. Actually, I did a little thing here.
Oh, yeah, my son.
Yeah, right here.
Did she see the...
Add a little emotion in there. And then at the end of each section,
pumpkin pie?
let me showcase
I
that.
hope she did.
Actually, let's turn off the playlist for right now. So let's...
I hope she did. I spent 4 hours on it. Oh, boy.
So yeah, that's kind of what I did there. At the end of each segment, I faded out that segment and then faded into the new segment. And one more thing I should probably also mention is that I also added background music. Just to make it a little more interesting.
If we're gonna be together, I want you to meet my mother. Oh, yeah, my son.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see the good son. I don't know about this, Donna. Those Siskel and Ebert guys said it wasn't good.
Actually, let me showcase this. The other segment.
I just don't understand. How could Kevin McAllister be so cruel?
You want to carve a face on that? Yep, you never know what a pumpkin like this could do at night.
Yeah, I actually kind of switched around the lines. 'Cause I'm pretty sure it was my bad on my part. But I usually have the viewers read the top part and then this part. But I can definitely see the confusion there. It would kind of go like this. You want to carve a face on that? Yep. You never know what a pumpkin like this could do at night. And then, right here, I initially wanted to do one of those SpongeBob title card things, like, Littles at Night. Littles at Night. Or I guess one of my personal favorites. One extremely boring montage later. Also notice how I used Cable Bold, which is the main font that I use for the main logo right here. And I guess I should probably... Actually, let me play this out in its entirety.
Wait, what the f***? You're alive?
Of course, gorgeous. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to pay that person behind you a lesson.
Lucy? What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, notice how I put my Wizard of Oz reference for the pumpkin right underneath the track for the dialogue. The main dialogue, at least. But I tuned it down to, like, less than 15 decibels, just so you can hear the dialogue a little better. Now you might be wondering to yourself, but Aidan, if you put this much effort into re-editing a comic dub, why isn't it on your YouTube channel? Well, because the original already exists on YouTube. So I thought about putting what I originally called the DeFrehn cut. Although in hindsight, I feel like I should have called it the definitive cut because... you know, definitive comics. And also, I feel like because I have the original image files for this, I feel like I could have done something more with it. Like, using said original image files. Oh, and one more thing I should also mention is the aspect ratio for this. For People Are Crazy, I presented each comic in an aspect ratio of 1.66 to 1, matching various Disney movies from the time. Yeah, matching various traditionally animated Disney movies, such as Mulan, think Robin Hood, I guess The Lion King kind of had the 1.66 to 1 ratio thing there too. What else? Trying to think. The Aristocats, maybe? Unless that was, like, full-on 4x3. Jungle Book. You know, those kinds of things. So anyways, where can you find this re-edit? or as I'll call it from now on, the definitive cut. Or as it's officially called, the DeFrehn cut. Well, it's on my archive page. Actually, I might make a poll later. To see if y'all want to see this re-edit on my YouTube channel, or if I should make a second channel dedicated to comic dubs, or if I should just keep it on my archive page. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot to mention. This frame was actually a freeze frame. Let me go down here to speed. I can't go down to speed change. I can't go down to speed change. Let me showcase this in a clip that does have speed change. Yeah, here we are. So, this little snowflake right here, that usually means freeze frame. And arrow going forward, or I guess arrow going to the right, that usually means going forward. Arrow pointing to the left, that usually means going in reverse. And I feel like this is actually a pretty nifty software for people who are transitioning from Sony Vegas to DaVinci Resolve. Yeah, transitioning from Sony Vegas. Which, funnily enough, I actually did use Sony Vegas for quite a bit of time. So yeah. Yeah, not much else to talk about. Alright. Hey, look, I made it. When I did my People Are Crazy comic dub, I tried keeping each image in a 1.78 format, and I think it worked well in the end. I mean, that's fine. It's not really too different from 1.66 to 1. Maybe a comic dub only channel could be interesting. Honestly, my desktop is old, so it wouldn't take the power, so I'd have to use another one. Hi, Aidan. It's A-I-D-A-N, but welcome to the stream, Daniel. One of the days, I'll put DaVinci to use. For now, After Effects and iMovie, and also Movie Maker, are my go-tos. So yeah. Oh, actually, this might be my favorite bit of sound mixing that I've ever done. And it was... Yeah, this might be my favorite bit of sound mixing that I've ever done for a comic dub.
Wait, what the f***? You're alive?
Of course, gorgeous. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to pay that person behind you a lesson.
It feels like a SpongeBob episode. Especially in terms of sound editing. Honestly, in terms of sound editing, this might be my favorite project to work on. It really feels like an episode of SpongeBob, in a way. And for those wondering how I And for those wondering how I did the pumpkin's voice, hang on, let me just solo this out for a bit.
What the f***? You're alive?
Of course, gorgeous. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to pay that person behind you a lesson.
If you're wondering how I did that voice, it's basically just me recording into Audacity. Yeah, me recording my lines and then speeding up the... Okay, so before I do that, I talk as slow as I can. Yeah, I talk in slow motion, and then I speed it up by around 50-ish%. And then that way when you speed it up, it sounds like you're talking normally. It's how Ross Bagdasarian did it with the Alvin and the Chipmunks franchise. I also kind of imagine Plankton having a voice like that for some reason. But still, it's kind of funny, really. I thought it was only a pitch up. Oh, right. Hang on a sec. Sorry about that. Hey, it's alright. It's alright. Yeah, people always spell my name wrong, so it's not really that big of a deal. I legitimately could not tell you spoke slow there. I thought it was only a pitch up. Well, the art of speaking slow and speaking fast is kind of a thing. It's a thing. I've actually watched some of the behind the scenes of the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie and how they did the voices. And it's a similar procedure to what Ross Bagdasarian did back in the 50s for songs like The Witch Doctor and the Chipmunk song. I sometimes use Adobe Audition for when I alter the pitch of any audio source, especially music. Yeah, for anybody who's looking for a free alternative to Adobe Audition, Audacity is literally the best thing ever. I am not kidding. So, let's... Actually, let me record an example. But first, let me close out of this. And then open this up. That's right, you're getting an on-stream demonstration of what I did. Just trying to think of a thing I can improvise. How about something like... Yeah, I can't really think of anything to say, so... How about... Oh, hang on a sec. Let me just put my recording device to my microphone and recording channels mono. This is a test. Yeah, for some reason my microphone only records in mono. So let me copy this, paste it here, pan left, pan right, and then make it a stereo track. Bada bing, bada boom, baby. Loudness normalization to 50 lufs. Well, minus 15 lufs. And then we speed it up by around 50%. So let's hear it.
This is a test.
Actually, let me speed it up a little bit more. 75%.
This is a test.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, that's your lesson for the day. Talking slow and speeding it up in post. Usually, like he says right here, sounds cool. Actually, one more thing I should also mention. Aidan and the Chipmunks, featuring me as Simon and DMB as Theodore. Anyone? I don't know. I mean, it does sound like a good idea. Alright. So before I go into music time, I'm gonna showcase some of the video edits that I've done in Blender. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so before I So this is how I would edit in Blender, if I were given the opportunity. First off, set the resolution to 100%, no matter the resolution. I always leave this at 100%. And then I would go down here, FFmpeg video, RGB, then set the encoding container to MPEG-4, which is MP4. Audio codec I usually leave at AAC, and then I used to leave it on MP3, but it doesn't really have that. It doesn't really play back on phones, so I just leave it at AAC. Yeah, it's probably a spam user. Give him the arrow and then yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. Hang on 1 second. Alright, now that we got that taken care of. Ciao, mate. Sorry for the outdated Skyrim joke. I didn't even know that was a Skyrim joke. Probably because I never really played that much Skyrim. I used to have it, actually, but I think I just lost it someday. Anyways, I think I'll go grab a bite. See y'all next time. Alright. Guess I'll see you around. So. Yeah. Now we move on to music time. Now, as you may know, I finally changed the graphic. Hallelujah. This one's a lot more inspired by those. Love the new graphic. Yep, it's a new card. This one was very heavily inspired by those iPod Shuffle commercials from 2006, 2005, somewhere around that point. what was the other music time graphic? If you look at the previous episode, you'll know. It was basically just me next to a keyboard, while also showcasing maracas, because I have... Actually, I still have those. They were green maracas, imported straight from Mexico. Ah, here it is. iPod Shuffle. Yeah, apparently the YouTube date for that commercial is Christmas Day 2005. So yeah, 2005, 2006, that's kind of the time period that I was inspired by for this graphic. The other graphic featured me playing maracas while a stylophone falls out of my pocket, and the piano. And the other two are basically just piano and ukulele. So yeah, this one was heavily inspired by those iPod Shuffle commercials from the mid to late 2000s. Because that was my era of music, man. And then there was one in Devo hat. Well, thanks for the history lesson of the music time graphics. Well, cards. Yep. Alright, so let's get to the music, shall we? Alright. First, let me test the strings. There we go. There we go. Now we're rocking. That should be my catchphrase. Alright. I didn't know you were a musician. I didn't know you're a musician. Well, yeah, I've been practicing a lot of music for a while. Actually, I have an idea for... I think if I ever decide to edit another comic dub, I'll showcase one of my parody composition things. People Are Crazy Variety Hour will likely be my next one. And it'll basically... the intro will basically be a parody of Seinfeld. And hopefully you know what Seinfeld is. Or, I guess, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Because I think I named my character Will after Will Smith. And I also made Will, in People Are Crazy, a comedian. In a similar vein to Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld. Airline food, my gosh, what's the deal with that? What's the deal with airline food? Or something like that, I don't know. I should probably mention that that is one of my all-time favorite riffs to play. The cover for Sweet Dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. One of these days, I'm gonna have to plug this into the amp. That way I can actually, rock, Let's see what else. Yeah, 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 yeah. That is one of my all-time favorite show intro thingies. Ridiculousness. Otherwise, which I'm pretty sure is actually a cover of the Devo song Uncontrollable Urge. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's one of the riffs that I really want to learn. Dream On, Aerosmith. Written by Steven Tyler, all the way back in the 70s, I think. Either that or it was in the 60s. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much it for music time. So let's move on to the Q&A session, where I answer up to 3 questions, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I answer up to 3 questions. Actually, let me turn off the desktop audio because I don't need it anymore. So yeah, Q&A session. I answer up to 3 questions, so yeah. If you have any questions, leave it in the chat. Have you been supporting Coyote vs. Acme? As much as I want to, I don't really have the funds to do so. But either way, release Coyote vs. Acme. Besides, I really want to see it. I mean, from what I've heard, it's probably gonna be one of the best Looney... would have been one of the best Looney Tunes movies since Back in Action. But yeah. Please release Coyote vs. Acme. So yeah. Sorry, Sorry, I was eating these cinnamon pretzel twist thingies. They're really good. I highly recommend them. So yeah, I'll be answering 2 more questions, because first one, supporting Coyote vs. Acme. Please release the movie. So, any more questions? Any films you hope to see win at the Oscars? Actually, yeah. For Best Picture, I haven't really taken a look at the nominees, but I know Barbie and Oppenheimer might be nominees, so... Actually, what's funny about that is that I've actually watched Oppenheimer about... Yeah, I actually watched Oppenheimer the past Friday, actually. And it was a really good movie. But I also like Barbie, so... So I'd be fine with either Oppenheimer or Barbie winning Best Picture. For Best Animated Feature, considering the only one that I've seen was Nimona, I'm hoping Nimona wins. So yeah, I guess maybe one more question? What are some TV shows you newly discovered and or rewatched recently? I'm gonna have to say Kim Possible. Actually, newly discovered... Let's see, there's this one show from Australia. I'm trying to look for it. I do know that Michael Cusack executive produced the cartoon, so... Trying to find it. I don't know. Were you thinking Bluey? No, I was thinking of a different show. It's one where... It's like... How do I describe it? It stars a bunch of people who work at a bowling alley. And it's kinda like The Office, but Australian. And I know that Michael Cusack voices one of the characters and is an executive producer for the show. trying to find it. Actually, maybe if I look on Google, sorry, I was Smiling Friends. That's not the one, but I did watch Smiling Friends, so you're getting warmer. It was... Give me one more second. I don't know. It's an animation compilation thing, but I'll probably find it later, and if I do, I'll leave a comment saying what show it is. All I know is that it was executive produced by Michael Cusack, and I think it was funded by 9 Network. For me, I begun rewatching the Men in Black series. Oh yeah, the Men in Black series. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. The animated one. But yeah, to answer your question right now, a TV show that I've been watching recently, well, actually, I've been watching a few. Kim Possible, and that new Ted series. The one that Seth MacFarlane's working on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Kim Possible and Ted. Until I can find that one cartoon that I've been trying to find. Actually, hang on. Maybe if I look up my... Fresh Blood, or Day Job, actually. Yeah, the show's called Day Job, actually, so... Now I don't need to comment what it is, woohoo! So yeah. It's a show called... Yeah, it's called Day Job. It's part of the Fresh Blood series, which I'm guessing is... Which I'm guessing is a part of... Which I guess is a show about finding new talent, essentially. And I think it was on ABC, which is Australia's broadcasting company. Not to be confused with the ABC of America. ABC Australia is a different thing, I think. But yeah. Kim Possible, Ted, and Day Job. Which I believe is about workers... Well, people who work at a bowling alley. I'm making it sound worse than it actually is. Whatever. Anyway, I guess that kind of concludes today's episode, so yeah. Alright, I'm going to leave the stream. See you next time. Yep, see you later. So, join us next time as I'll think of something else to do in the next stream. So yeah. Let's see, how do I do my usual outro? I'm afraid it's time for me to go. Always remember, love with your heart, use your head for everything else. My name is Aidan DeFrehn, and stay classy, Philadelphia.